Good afternoon. Uh, so for the next few minutes, first I should say, I'm Jonathan Zaff. I'm a research professor in applied human development at Wheelock College of Education and Human Development, and I run what's called the CERES Institute for Children and Youth. The CERES Institute is really a center that's designed to partner with community in an authentic way to co-construct the questions we want to ask and answer about how to enable young people to thrive and to design solutions together. So the work I'm going to talk about in a minute is really comes out of multiple years of work we've done with young people who have been living within adverse, really extremely adverse situations, which I'll define more in a second, and have been off course educationally and in work and really overall in life. But we look at them also with having immense potential and just inherent strength. And we take from sort of a theoretical perspective, one from the positive development field, which is where I position myself, which is really understanding the assets of young people and what we can do to allow young people to optimize that potential, but also from the liberatory psychological perspective, which really talks about flourishing, not only about what is happening within you, but how you interact with the community around you and what purpose really means about us together. So based on work we've done over the past really 5 to 8 years, where we've surveyed several thousand, actually more than just several, thousands of young people across the country and conducted in-depth interviews with hundreds and hundreds more in all areas of the country. What we want to know is, what were young people's lives like, especially those who are disconnecting from school, work, and life. And what you see here is really an expression of the kinds of adversities these young people were facing. So these were pretty extreme, whether it was about housing instability, whether it was around educational disruptions, whether it was around abuse that they were experiencing, gang involvement, et cetera. Most notably, though, any one of these would knock any of us most likely off course. For our young people, for those who left school, what we found was that they were experiencing 5 or more on average. So if you think about that list and you think about just really what they are experiencing, the ability to really function on a day-to-day basis would be pretty compromised. But we want to know, what were these young people doing? There's been this narrative about young people who leave school, who disconnect from work, that it's because they're disaffected or because they are bored or just not good. Just to say it, is just not good people. What we find is something quite different. And this is where we get into this idea of flourishing. I won't read the quotes, but I'll allow you to read them as I talk. When we really dug into who these young people were, what we found were amazing narratives, really life stories about young people who were aware very intimately with the world around them and their connection to that world, whether it was with a parent, whether it was about their siblings, and how they could, in fact, be a net benefit to them. So they were unfortunately disconnecting from one aspect of life, but being a huge asset to others. The other part is around, how did that come to be? And we developed this framework called Web of Support, which really is this idea that it's those around us that we connect to, that it's not only any one person, that one sort of superhuman who does it all for us, but really this network of supports around us who would uplift us and enable us to connect to the communities, and also to be assets within ourselves. So finally, we also look deep into program elements that would help to encourage this. And really what it comes down to, it's relationships first and foremost. How do we actually get those relationships, those caring, cultivating, nurturing relationships to young people, but really provide those agentic opportunities for young people to affect change over their own lives, but really also to affect change of those around them.